Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Honored Dia Show. Today's show, a review of Dragon Ball Super, Superhero. Many of you may not know this, but I'm a huge Dragon Ball Z fan. I watched that thing religiously. I literally learned how to program a VCR and a TV to simultaneously turn on and record just so that I would make sure I would have the new episodes that came out of Toonami. I've loved a lot of Dragon Ball Super. It really is the series that Tayo has decided to actually listen to fandom and actually listen to like the pipe dreams that a lot of the Dragon Ball Z fans of the internet have had throughout the last couple 20 years. And there's just a lot of really good fan service in the show, and it really does pay homage. It really is a true continuation of Dragon Ball Z, and it has really brought back the series to kind of its roots in that world. And I love the involvement of Akira Toriyama. Dragon Ball Super Superhero is completely written by Akira Toriyama. He's actually only written about 4 of the previous Dragon Ball movies. So his involvement here is actually pretty standout. And you know what? You can really feel it. Dragon Ball Super Superhero is really at its core a story about father and son. And by that I mean Piccolo and Gohan. This movie takes no punches and lets you know directly, hey, the real father-son story of Dragon Ball is Gohan and Piccolo. And this movie goes full steam ahead in that. And by saying that, that also means those of you who, like I, are extreme Gohan fans, you get a lot of wish fulfillment here. He's back. Gohan's back. And this movie cements the relationship between Gohan and Piccolo in a way that we all knew was true. And that's one of the biggest reasons I love Super. It doesn't sugarcoat anything. It tells you exactly the way things are. Look, Goku is out training all the time on some otherworldly planet to just be better. And he's left his only son to train with Piccolo. We've all seen the arc. The original arcs of Gohan being trained by Piccolo and the Cell Saga, which saw Gohan's power really grow, is my favorite sagas of all Dragon Ball Z. And if you're a Gohan fan and love those sagas, this movie is the movie you have been waiting for. It's fun. It's great. It introduces some new characters. The Red Ribbon Army is back. And the inclusion of Akira Toriyama really brings that charm of the original Dragon Ball into this, seeing as how he is revisiting the Red Ribbon Army. And I love how he introduces all the childish humor and charm while also bringing together some epic fights. This movie is also created in a kind of 2.5D animation, which makes it look kind of cel shady. And I do admit that sometimes this animation a little fake when it comes to the actual 2D animation, but there are moments in this movie where the animation is just coming off of the screen and creates breathtaking cinematics. I do believe that the choice of doing that for this movie made it so they were able to do the animation a little quicker. And I think it really does work. It works well for Dragon Ball. You still get that 2D animation feel with a little bit of that flair of 3D animation, which makes this really look cinematic. Like I mentioned before, this really is a Gohan and Piccolo story. It really doesn't involve Goku or Vegeta. They are in the movie, but only briefly. This is very much more of a special than a real movie, if you remember the lingo from back then. The cast of characters are introduced here is really fun too. You get introduced to Dr. Giro's grandson, who is named Dr. Hero. The writing of that character could have really just followed the regular pattern of a villain that happens in the Dragon Ball universe, but he's actually written quite well, and he has a little bit more pathos in this story. And towards the end, he becomes kind of a pivotal character. The new androids I really liked. Because of the character dynamics of Dr. Giro's grandson, these androids are not your typical androids. And you really do grow to actually kind of like these guys. And because of their characters, the stakes are brought up quite a bit. And I don't want to spoil the ending, but if you are a fan of the original sagas that I really loved about Dragon Ball, the last act of this movie is going to be a thrill ride that is just incredible. I give Dragon Ball Super Superhero a 9 out of 10. For those of you Dragon Ball fans that love the story of Gohan and Piccolo, this is the movie for you. This is the movie I've been waiting for. The Cell Saga and Gohan are my favorite characters and sagas in all of Dragon Ball. And this satisfied an itch that I have been waiting for almost 10 years. Akira Toriyama really does bring his charm to this, and you can really feel his influence throughout, and it really does add a little bit more charm and depth to the characters. His writing is just really good. It's a wonder he's only really written about 4 of the other Dragon Ball movies. Thank you for watching, everyone. Bye.